How smart grids are reshaping the global power industry. A fascinating paradox is unfolding across the global energy sector. The world is investing trillions of dollars in solar energy. Offshore wind power is expanding at an unprecedented pace. Battery energy storage systems, BESS, are becoming increasingly widespread. Electric vehicles are appearing everywhere. Meanwhile, AI and data centers are driving electricity demand to record highs. Yet one critical question is often overlooked. If all of these technologies continue to scale, is our existing power grid capable of supporting them? Or, more fundamentally, can an electrical grid designed more than a century ago still power the digital economy of the 21st century? This is precisely why smart grid technology is emerging as one of the most transformative innovations in the global power industry. To understand its significance, we need to look back at how electricity systems have operated for more than 100 years. The traditional power system was relatively straightforward. A limited number of large power plants generated electricity. That electricity was transmitted through high-voltage transmission lines. It was then distributed to cities, factories, and households. Power flowed in only one direction, from generation to consumption. For decades, this model proved highly effective because the number of power plants was limited, electricity generation was relatively stable, and consumers simply consumed electricity. Today, however, the energy landscape has changed completely. An increasing number of businesses are generating electricity through rooftop solar systems. Industrial facilities are investing in battery energy storage systems, BESS, to store energy. Electric vehicles are evolving from electricity consumers into potential energy providers through vehicle-to-grid, V2G, technologies. Smart buildings continuously optimize their electricity consumption based on real-time demand. At the same time, billions of IoT devices are connected to the internet every day. Electricity no longer flows in just one direction. It can now be generated at millions of different locations. It can be stored, it can be shared, and it can be dynamically managed in real time. These are capabilities that conventional power grids were never designed to handle. This is where smart grid comes into play. Many people assume smart grid simply means installing more sensors or replacing traditional electricity meters with smart meters. In reality, smart grid represents an entirely new way of operating the power system. If a conventional grid is like a one-way road, a smart grid is comparable to an intelligent transportation network. It continuously collects data from millions of points across the electrical system, from power plants, transmission lines, substations, manufacturing facilities, all the way down to individual electricity meters. As a result, grid operators gain real-time visibility into where electricity is being generated, where it is being consumed, and which areas are approaching network congestion. But smart grid goes beyond monitoring. It can analyze system conditions and respond almost instantaneously. That is its defining advantage. Imagine a sunny afternoon. Tens of thousands of rooftop solar systems are simultaneously generating large amounts of electricity. At the same time, electricity demand in another region suddenly surges. Without intelligent coordination, one area may experience excess generation while another faces a supply shortage. Smart grid balances these energy flows. When integrated with battery energy storage systems, BESS, it can absorb surplus electricity, redistribute it where it is needed most, and reduce stress across the entire grid. In other words, smart grid does not generate more electricity. It enables us to use the electricity we already have far more efficiently. For businesses, smart grid introduces a fundamentally new approach to energy management. In the past, many companies only knew how much electricity they had consumed when they received their monthly utility bill. That is like driving a car and discovering how far you traveled only after arriving home. Today, intelligent energy management platforms enable businesses to monitor electricity consumption in near real time. They can identify exactly which production lines consume the most energy, which equipment is operating inefficiently, when abnormal demand spikes occur, and which areas present the greatest opportunities for optimization. These insights enable organizations to make decisions based on real operational data rather than assumptions. They also form the foundation of smart manufacturing in the digital era. At the national level, smart grid has become a strategic priority. As AI, data centers, electric vehicles, and industrial electrification continue to expand, electricity demand will grow faster than ever before. Building additional power plants remains essential, but increasing generation capacity alone will not be enough. The greater challenge is managing the entire electricity system more intelligently. That is why many countries now consider smart grid to be critical infrastructure, on the same level as highways and telecommunications networks. Because the digital economy of tomorrow cannot depend on an electrical grid built for yesterday. Ultimately, the energy transition is not only about producing more clean electricity, it is about managing every kilowatt hour more intelligently. Smart grid represents the evolution from a passive electricity network to an intelligent, data-driven power system. However, this raises another important question. If businesses do not know exactly where electricity is being consumed, if they cannot identify which equipment is wasting energy, if they have no visibility into when energy costs reach their peak, how can they optimize their operations? There is a well-known principle in management. You can't manage what you don't measure. In the energy sector, that principle has never been more relevant. Why has energy measurement become the foundation of every successful strategy for improving efficiency, reducing costs, and accelerating digital transformation? That is the focus of our next video: why businesses can't manage what they don't measure.